Hi guys, I'm Tim Langston with Red Dog Bushcraft. Thanks for joining me for another video. Just got back from the 2013 Pathfinder gathering, and while I was there I picked up this Condor Bushcraft knife. Decided that I wanted a knife to use around camp, something that I could bang up, something that wasn't quite as expensive as some of my other bushcraft knives, and that if I wanted to beat on it and abuse it a little bit more than I would my typical bushcraft knives, I would have something to do that I didn't have quite the monetary investment in that I do some of my blind horse knives and my tops knives and some of those other higher dollar knives. Not to say that there's anything wrong with beating those guys up, but I wanted something that was a little bit less expensive to do kitchen chores and other small carving tasks around camp. And I think this knife is going to prove to be just fine for that. The feel and the look of the steel reminds me a lot of an old hickory knife, and I really like the way it's designed with the sharp 90-degree angle spine. I have been able to throw some good sparks off of this thing so far, and as I continue to work on the bevel of the back of this blade and getting it into a profile that I enjoy, I'm sure that this is going to be a dandy fine knife for around camp. So give me just a minute and I'll bring you in a little bit closer and we'll review some of the specs of this particular knife. Okay, a little zoom in here on the knife, and let me get that so that you can see that up against a ruler here. See if I can get that lined up. There we go. A little bit better look at that knife. Now, this is the knife I picked up to be just an all-around camp work knife. This is made by Condor. They're made out of El Salvador, and it is a 3mm thick spine on the back, and it is at a 90-degree angle, and I've tried it. It does throw good sparks from a ferrule rod. It's made of 1075 high carbon steel, and it's blasted satin on the non-cutting edge of the blade. Now, the back of the spine is not coated, and nor was the cutting edge when I purchased it. The handle is of hardwood, and the sheath is leather and black. Now, the sheath is a very nice quality thick sheath. I haven't done anything to it. I do plan on wetting and shaping it a little bit more so that it contours to the knife a little bit better. And I did put a split ring on the back of the belt loop so that I can use it as a dangler if I desire to do that. I like to put the split rings on the back of those. It doesn't get in the way if you don't want it. You simply pull it down and put your belt through, and it performs just like any other belt sheath. Keeps it nice and high on your belt. But when you do want that dangler, I find that when I'm traveling in the vehicle a lot or riding a bike while I'm out doing my bushcraft work, that sheath being able to move makes it a little bit more comfortable. There wasn't a lot of specs online as far as this knife goes, and I didn't really care for the finish or the taper of the blade when I took it right out of the package. Now, it was sharp, but my goal was to buy this knife as an all-around chore type knife around camp, something that I could beat and bang up. So what I have done is I have begun cleaning this surface up, and I started out with a pretty aggressive stone, and I'm simply tapering it from the finish line all the way down. A pretty light, more of a Scandinavian grind, but I don't know, I haven't decided yet exactly how I'm going to keep that. It does cut well at this point. It is sharp. I haven't finished with it as far as my final stropping that blade yet. We'll see how it holds up, and as I begin to use this knife around camp, I'm sure that you'll see it, and I'll do a few more reviews on it as we go along. But I just wanted to shoot this to give you an idea of a couple of the items I was able to pick up at the gathering. So once again, thanks for joining me. I'm Tim Langston with Red Dog Bushcraft. I hope you enjoyed this small review of the Condor. Okay, as you can see, we got that split. There was a little bit of a knot here that gave me some trouble, but once we got past that, she split right wide open. Now I've got two pieces. I have a thinner piece here and a thicker piece. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this thicker piece, and there's that knot again, and split that down once again about the width of my index finger, and see if we can't make this into the fireboard, and that'll leave us plenty of room here to make the spindle out of and the bearing block. But I'm going to peel off some of this bark, and I'm going to take some of this inner bark and see if I can't shred that up, and that would help us as far as making our bird's nest. So let me do this other split here. I'll be right back.